Welcome to Ignite Your Light with Zara Black. Today I'm going to be joined with Divya Sadram from Passion Healings. We're going to hear from her. She's just joined, so I am just going to introduce her. Hey. Hello, hello. Welcome to Ignite Your Light with Zara Black. Today I'm going to be joined with my guest, Dr. Divya Sadram from Passion Healings. Okay. What she aims to do is illuminate the path to transformation through the art of energy healing. Welcome to Ignite Your Light, Divya. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for your invitation. It's very warm and really welcoming. Thank you so much for having me, Zara.
You're welcome. I've wanted to speak to you for a while, actually. I think we connected on Instagram, quite about a year ago now, something like that. And we'd always said that we were going to have a little chat about, some of the work that you're doing in holistic well-being and things like that. So,
Yes.
I just wanted to hear a little bit about, some of those healing solutions that you do, how you came up with passion healings, everything about holistic well-being from your point of view. So if you could just give us a little bit about an introduction rather on passion healings and what you do.
Sure, certainly. Certainly. I am really excited to really share my story here and how I started this and how like Passion Healings was born.
Mhm.
This has started, I earned my degree as a physician, and completely equipped with conventional knowledge of medicine. And yet I yearned for something more profound, and I longed to see some kind of a difference in regards to health and well-being. And
Mhm.
it all started with my own family. My grandfather was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and he was having very rare symptoms of tongue tremors and other kinds of symptoms that involves with Parkinson's, which was slowing him down. And honestly, we did not have any answers in the conventional medicine. So
Yeah.
that really triggered me to look into the vastness and the depth beyond science.
Mm.
So I started to learn more about that, and I wanted to make a difference, not just for my own family, but for anyone who is suffering from chronic conditions that necessarily don't have a cure in the conventional medicine. So that challenge was something that made me kept me motivated, I would say. And on that quest, I started to go and increase my knowledge, learn new things, and attend people who have experienced certain miraculous healings and heard their stories. And that determination just led me where I could shift my perspective from just confining it to the conventional evidence-based medicine to the realm of quantum energy.
Mm.
That was like the leap.
Mhm.
So in that leap, there was this discovery of the truth that was really very close to my soul, I would say. Like it was very deep inside, because I have learned and I came to a realization that everything is energy,
Mm.
and energy can be harnessed, altered, or molded either for our health or for illness. It's the
Mm.
same energy, but it's our choice on how we are manifesting it, you
Wow.
know, like the dualism, like positive and negative, health or illness. So then I set my foot and I started to just stop doing like a band-aid solution to address the issues, and
Mhm.
started to pursue what could be the ultimate truth and why someone creates their own pain or why someone creates an illness, because it all goes back to the beliefs that are at the bottom of our hearts, which are taking a shape in our very existence.
Mm.
So that's how passion healing started, to be very specific.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
thank you.
Mm. So what you're saying, is that kind of similar to psychosomatic illness? Is it that we are almost manifesting the illness for ourselves by what we're thinking, what we're feeling inside our bodies, that sort of thing? So is it every illness that happens to us, like we created it? Is that what it is?
I really love that you use the term psychosomatic, and it's pretty much really a huge part in the neurosis because, yes, to a certain extent, I would say yes, because there is an extraordinary connection between our thoughts and our well-being,
Hmm.
period.
Yeah.
And that would forever alter the course of anybody's journey. Because I have witnessed myself healings that were born just out of the profound power of our own mind. Because what you think is what you become,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it is definitely that potential, that infinite potential the human mind has got, right? And the like the boundless energy and the boundless possibilities that we have got to do with our own mind, and that can create anything instantly. And if we create it, what I believe is, like, say for example, you're thinking about creating our illness. Do we create our illness? Yes, we do, because at some point we did, but it's consciously or unconsciously, that's the deeper issue there. But
Right.
something that is happening currently in our life today is something that we asked for.
Hmm.
So the in my healing paradigm, what I really use is, if we have got the ability to create that for our life, we are the ones that can uncreate it too.
Hmm. Right. So as much as we can sort of make ourselves sick, we can sort of make ourselves better again.
Exactly.
So sort of tell us about some of the patients that you've had, like some of the kind of illnesses that you've witnessed for yourself, some of the kind of patients that you've worked with that have come with certain illnesses and sort of gotten better after doing some energy healing.
Yeah, sure. Like many, I can recollect, like many of chronic illnesses, including cancers, I can say I have witnessed and I've seen them come out completely, well, from those diagnoses. And I have worked with clients, as I said, like Parkinson's, where they showed drastic improvements, and also clients like with diabetes and hypertension, because these are chronic illnesses, like where there is always treatment which you have to continue to take to the rest of your life. And conditions like hypothyroidism, it's very common because of the lack of basal metabolic rate in the body, the hormones and the imbalances in the hormones, and to name a few. But anxiety and depression are the other big population where,
Oh
it's
yeah.
really the undercurrent, of everyone. And then that's one of the other thing that I work on an everyday basis, to see why we are putting ourselves in that thought process, so it and giving so much energy to that area in our life that we are constantly creating that depression. So I work with my clients and I mentor them. Some of them just need mentoring, because mentoring helps them to understand, because it's not like the life is just shifted overnight for anyone. We are working our way through our journey since we are born to we are adults, and we are learning different things from our own families, from the society, from our teachers, from our friends. So we are taking so much information all the time, and we would only choose to process that information which we think makes sense or resonates with us depending upon our life experiences. So
Yeah.
those are some of, I can just name some of them, but yeah, breast cancers are something that I've dealt with, colon cancers, uterine cancers. I mean, just to name a few. But yeah, I do see clients that are really terminally ill, or the ones that are just diagnosed. And sometimes it's like they want to just start living a life full of joy and happiness. So we kind of unlock those secrets as well in some of my mentoring programs that I got to offer, where they can have a new perspective about life in totality.
Wow. It's kind of scary when you think about it, to think, when you get into this bout of, anxiety or depression or stress, even, that, oh my God, like I could actually be making myself sick right now. How do I turn this off? Like, what are some of the ways that we can almost do a preventative measure rather than, letting it manifest to that degree and then start running for healing and energy and, something transformative? How do we sort of choose better thoughts to avoid illness, in the first place?
Absolutely. That's a great question. I must say that is a great question. And that's the whole idea where I even started to first chose to start teaching and start mentoring people for the very reason, because I so much believe in preventive healing.
Mm,
Because I go with, as a physician, I go with the proverb, prevention is better than cure,
right.
and always a gold standard. So I definitely do that. For that, I would just suggest that we being aware of ourselves.
Mm,
Uh, I would like to share an example to make it more understandable. It's like, for example, I have a clients where, and I see clients on daily basis, not just one, where they have to come for some kind of pain. Like say their foot is aching or an ankle is aching or their lower back is aching. They would come to see or to pay attention to it only when possibly they are unable to do their everyday tasks.
mhm,
And my question would be, did this just start yesterday? And the
mm.
answer is no. You know it to see. There you go. With your energy, you just said me that you instinct it was a no. That means my client or whoever that was experiencing that pain for quite a few weeks or months by then, and they only want to see us when it is bothering or halting their function to progress and to continue with their daily activities,
Yeah.
right? So if they could have heard that pain and listened to it when it's first started and paid a little attention to it, because what I believe as a healer is that pain is an uncomfortable intensity that is telling you something.
Mm,
That is the way your body speaks to you. And we tend to put it off, put it off, put it off, put it off. And then eventually, what the body does, it breaks down.
yeah.
That is when people get sick. Where
Right.
all you need to do is, I'm calling a sick leave today. I need to be on my bed today. I need to make my doctor's appointment today. So you come to that point. So the only thing to prevent it is pay attention to what your body is saying. Listen to your body like you would listen to a kid,
Yeah.
and just be more focused and do a lot of self-care.
Wow. Wow. Do a lot of self-care. Goodness. I think I'm so guilty of that. Like it will something would have to be like severely wrong with me before I pick up the phone and call the doctor, or like I'll be like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Like the last thing I want to do is go to the doctor, go to the hospital, that sort of thing. I'm like, I've it's almost like I've trained myself to think like, I'm not important. You know what I mean? Like those little voices saying, Zara, you need to do this, or you need to take a minute, just go to sleep, that kind of thing. Like I just turn it off. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm strong enough. I can handle it. Blah, blah, blah. And we get into this like cycle of like, yeah, I'm not important, or that voice is not important. That voice that's trying to tell us, slow down, have a rest, eat better food, go to the doctor. And we just turn it off
Yeah,
consistently. I'm definitely guilty of that 100%.
you're right. I just really resonated with the word you used, like, yeah, I'm not important. The moment we say that, just imagine, would you say that to your kid or would you say that to your friend? You're not important. Why
No.
would why would you say to yourself, Zara?
Yeah,
It's that perspective that you need to shift, because that's the key to prevention, because we tend to do that because it's become such a habit for us.
it has 100%. And I think there was a post on your Instagram actually, and it said something to do with like self-care. I forgot what it was, but it was something to do with like training like children how to like do self-care or self-love, something like that, like foundationally, like they should know how to take care of themselves, we should be teaching that to children. What does it mean to, love yourself, self-care, self-love, that sort of thing. I think you said it was a buzzword. That was it. Like we talk about this so much, especially in like the holistic, well-being, spiritual sort of industries, self-love, self-care, all of that stuff. But like, what does that actually mean? You
Right.
know? What does it mean? And it's different things for different people. We can't just say self-care is having a bubble bath. Like, I don't like bubble baths. They make me dizzy. They make me want to pass out. You know what I mean? So,
I I really love that what you said, because yeah, there is a very wrong what do you say, like a wrong understanding about what self-care is. Self-care is not really about you sitting with your phone on the social media. It's not about you sitting in front of your couch and watching Netflix series. That's really not self-care time.
self-care, self-care.
That you can't really tag as self-care. Self-care can be simple acts of you spending time with what is coming naturally to you.
Yeah,
Natural state, trying to be in a natural state, like taking a walk or
yeah.
just step out and take a fresh breath in, connect with a friend, hug your spouse or hug your kids, do something that feels real, that can really release those happy hormones from your body.
Yeah.
I know binge watching and binge eating can release dopamine, but I call it cheap dopamine.
Cheap dopamine. That's cheap. We don't
So
want
that
cheap
can
dopamine.
give you that feeling for very less amount of time. It's still giving you that dopamine, that your dopamine is coming up because you feel good about watching, or you feel good about, being on the social media all day long. But that is going to go down, spike down as you go on your bed. But that dopamine is not helping you to wake up with motivation on the next day.
Yeah. So it's
Yes.
not putting anything in the silos. It's just
Ex-
taking the edge off, really.
Exactly. Self-care is where you probably want to wake up each morning and go out and hit the gym, and you're looking forward to the next day to do it again.
Yeah. So why is it that we sort of get into this habit of, looking for the cheap hits of dopamine and not really sitting with our feelings and going for like that walk? And, is it just like laziness? No, I don't want to go out. Like, why? We know that we're going to feel much better after like getting out or, going out with friends, having a chat, that sort of thing. Why do we always deny ourselves the self-care that we actually need? Not want, we need.
Exactly. That is a need. That's a very well said way. One thing I would say, there might be many reasons why, but one of the main reasons, I would say two of the main reasons, is one thing is probably we are not trained
Mm,
in the way we are supposed to, or we are not educated in the right way, in the right path.
yeah.
It could be from everywhere where we have been exposed ourselves and with our own life experiences. And the second most important thing is that this all ties up to our comfort zones. We all have created our own little comfort zones, and it feels better for us to stay in this comfort zone today. So I don't have to deal with the pain now. I call it, the pain here is the pain of discipline, if
Mm,
that makes sense.
yeah.
So I do tell my clients that a, a pill of discipline is easier to take than a pill of regret.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a small pill,
Mm,
but it's still a pill, right? You want to make sure that you take the pill of discipline today, because the pill of regret at a later time might be too difficult for you to swallow down the throat.
yeah. Self-loathing. Why didn't I just do that? Why did I procrastinate? Missing
Exactly.
deadlines, not getting what you want done. And you just feel even worse at the end?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it ultimately goes to burning out, or, getting stressed. And stress is a big factor these days. It's the new
Yeah.
norm. So, yeah, anything can happen after
Mm.
that.
Yeah, I was saying to my sister the other day, obviously I'm no doctor, but I said to her, stress is the biggest killer, you know. Is that true? Does everything sort of stem from stress?
Absolutely, yeah. We are with that for your question. All right, so we have what is called as the stress hormones in our body, all right? That is where the word stress even came from, like the stress hormones, because when we are really functioning a lot, our body releases a chemical, because our body is nothing but a chemical machine. We have got a chemical for everything in our body. And when we are stressed, that means lack of sleep, lack of food, or the fuel, right? The sleep and the food are the fuel for this human body. And when we don't we lack both of them, it's basically in the stress mode. So then our body automatically sets the signals where we have something called as adrenals in our body, and the adrenal glands release these hormones so we can function and keep up with ourselves. So
Mhm.
initially, we were created like that for survival instincts. So days ago, decades ago, humans, we were in the jungles and we had to hunt animals and survive from the animals. So we needed it so that you see a cat or a big cat, you have to run for your life. Then the stress hormones would release and, do it. But this generation right now, we are like on the stress mode all the time.
Yeah.
Our body is not designed to handle stress throughout the day. Our
Mhm.
bodies are only designed for a spike in the stress level as and when needed for a survival instinct, which we call as the fight or flight hormones, simply put. But because of that, now there is a stress to wake up. There is a stress to prepare breakfast. There is a stress to drop kids or pick kids if they're moms like me.
Oh, yeah.
And there is stress about working. There is stress about paying your bills. There is stress about living life. There's stress about relationships. There's stress about finances. And there is stress about the economy. And on top of it, you have all the world news and all the group consciousness going. So where is the window for you to not feel that stress?
Goodness, yeah.
We have to create one, right? So instead of we having to use our adrenals occasionally, we started using our adrenals 24/7,
Yeah.
which is impacting our immune system,
Mm.
is lowering your immune capability and your immune capacity. That is nothing but your capacity, your body's capacity to fight and defend for any foreign organism or a foreign bacteria or a virus that attacks your body.
Yeah.
You ultimately have the disease or the disorder. So, for your
Wow.
question, stress is the reason for so many things.
Wow. When you put it like that, it does even become even more scary. Like from the time the alarm rings at 5 a.m., you've got to get the clothes ready, you've got to catch the train. Oh my God, I'm gonna miss my train running down there. My manager's gonna kill me. Oh my God. This, that. It is non-stop, isn't it? It
Yeah,
is
it's going
non-stop.
nonstop. So that is why we recommend meditation. And
Yeah. But you
we
see, most people would say, I don't have enough time for meditation. How, because a lot of people have said it. To be honest, I used to be one of them, to be fair, as well. That's how I know.
right. I
with,
totally
with
agree.
everything in my life, you think I've got time to be sitting down with meditation?
Right. So the point is this again. So you want to have an understanding of what is meditation really.
Hmm.
So usually the when someone says, "Do you think I have time for meditation?" I think they do not really understand what meditation means.
Yeah.
So it's when you see again, meditation has so many facets. It's not about a nice picture or a pose where you sit in calmness and serenity and try to be somebody else. It's not about that. Meditation is really about knowing yourself,
Yeah.
to
Mm,
get in touch with your true self.
yeah.
Because most of the time, what I see is we all have faces, different faces. Like I can be the mom, I can be the daughter, I can be the spouse, I can be the friend, I can be this, I can be that. And where am I?
Mm,
Where is the real me? You know? So meditation just helps you to really open up that path and to widen up that path So at least you can find yourself with the hope that you will be able to find yourself and communicate with yourself. So as you said, in a busy life, in a busy lifetime, uh, yeah, life is too short for anything, right? Even to get worked and get stressed, don't you think? You're wasting the time. And similarly, when it comes to meditation, I would say you don't have to meditate for hours together. You
Mm.
can meditate. If you want to start meditating, I would say you want to meditate for 11 seconds to start with. And
Wow.
you can't really argue with me that you do not have 11 seconds in your 24 hours a day. Can you
Yeah.
really?
Who doesn't have 11 seconds, right? The food in the microwave is going for longer than that, right?
Exactly. If you're waiting for your food to get heated 30 seconds in your microwave or a minute, that is your meditation time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Do you
know,
think that a lot of people don't want to do the meditation because, as you said earlier, it's sort of delaying the need to face the feelings almost, Is it something that people, should be fearing almost, like what's on the other side of the meditation, what will be revealed at the end of the meditation, that sort of thing. And they'd rather just get on with it and, I'll face that later, that sort of thing.
I don't really think that is, I think that is again a wrong understanding of what meditation is. Trust me, you have to really do a lot and lot of practice to really hit that point where you can really understand that side of the world because it takes a lot of practice and a lot of dedication and discipline to really put yourself so focused enough. But I think the main thing here is, first of all, it's not a habit for most of us. We are never taught this in schools. We are never told this about the importance of this ever before. But
Yeah.
I think it wasn't even needed maybe that much in those ages. But now, with with the amount and with the speed at which I would say everything is changing, right? Like where we have come from the having social media accounts to having cell phones to now the AI, the way it is speeding up, the evolution process is speeding up, right?
Yeah.
So with that, I think we all are feeling like life is a race
Oh,
and
yeah.
you want to just keep on going,
Mm.
but you want to just have an understanding probably that life isn't a race and you can go at your own pace.
Yeah.
That is where you can take a moment to breathe. Even if you take a moment just to breathe and focus on your breathing, inhalation and exhalation, I call it meditation.
Mm.
Meditation is not about quietening your mind. That's not going to happen.
Mm.
Your mind is there to make some noise there. So it's not going to happen. All we want to do is in meditation, we want you to slow you down in your mind's head. Like all that you mentioned, all the self-sabotage you do, self-loathing, things like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not important, not right now, I don't have time. These are all things that we are telling. I want you to slow down. I don't want you to stop thinking. And that's not going to happen. If we all stop thinking and if we did not have thoughts, we would all be enlightened beings.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's the ultimate.
I think
So
you mentioned, back then we didn't really need it, meditation, slowing down, well-being, that sort of thing. But I think, these days it's coming a lot more in the workplace, well-being, even, in my daughter's school, for example, they've started doing a bit of, quieting their mind and doing well-being days and things like that. And I've been really impressed actually, that they're introducing it to kids so early actually. How can we sort of teach children, self-love, self-care, being present, especially with social media and things like that. Even I posted a picture, nobody liked it, like your whole day is ruined, I'm not good enough, this person is like getting brand deals and being some social media influencer. They just bought their mum a house at the age of 21 and I'm just here. I can't seem to get it together. No one even likes my picture. Like I have like 20 followers on TikTok. Like, how do we sort of teach kids that, to be present, to love themselves, to accept themselves. Life is not a race, that sort of thing. How, like, what kind of things can we be sort of teaching them is important or paramount more than anything, more than the social media likes, or, keeping up with the Joneses, or that sort of thing.
Right. So definitely one thing is to practice gratitude,
Yeah.
grateful and thankfulness for everything they have. If you said, okay, I have only 20 likes on my picture and I have only 20 people watching me, be grateful you've got 20 people. And first of all, be grateful you've got a phone
Mm-hmm.
where you've got to have a TikTok on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Given a moment in time, somebody would like to really live the life you're living. Period.
That's truth.
Given
Yeah.
a chance.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people who don't have phones still in this world. They don't have the basic needs being met. We need to make them realize that they are indeed blessed and be grateful for what they have, and that everything has to start with one step at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And practicing gratitude will be a great asset to teach the kids and ask them to be grateful. And every time they say, I'm not good enough or I did something bad, this is what I practice with my own little daughter there. When she says something negative about herself, I make her tell 3 good things about herself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a mind. So that is like self-awareness, right? Every time she's thinking something negative, programming her right from the childhood that she needs to think about her positives about her.
Yeah.
Places that energy right away. And the most important thing is, like, as parents, we definitely need to live by example.
Mm-hmm. 100%, because, I mean, it depends on the household you grew up in, but, definitely the household that I grew up in, I couldn't just be like, oh, I'm so bad at maths or whatever, I'm feel bad about myself. And, my parents wouldn't, pat me on the back and, hey, Zara, what 3 good things about you? They didn't have time for that rubbish. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So because I learned, I'm able to teach my kids.
Exactly.
That's the point. So we can't blame anybody. See, at the end of the day, it's said that we are all victims of victims.
Yeah.
I can't blame my mom because she didn't teach me when I was young, like a kid,
Mhm.
because she was a victim for her mom and her mom and her mom and her mom and
I
her,
guess.
right? So there's a saying that says that being born poor is not your fault, but if
Oh,
you, or that is definitely your fault.
oh, yeah.
Word that I guess, right? So it's like, yeah, we came into this world knowingly or unknowingly, but we've got our choices. We have our free will to decide on how we want to grow. Depending, I mean, we might have chosen our households in the
Mhm.
spirit world, but
Yeah,
that shouldn't be the reason why we have to just be like that for the rest of our lives.
absolutely. We can always make a change.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, some of the other work that you do, transcendental activations, DNA classes, things like that. What sort of offerings do you have? Do you do like well-being days for schools or companies, anything like that?
Well, yeah, I do teach seminars. I'm certificate of science and data healing, which means that I do teach people to become certified healers, where they can start their own practice as healers if they are being called to be a healer and they have those qualities and they're looking for answers. Yeah, that's, this is the right place for them where they can step in and start to learn and certify themselves for the modality. So I do those kind of teachings. I
Mm.
don't do them at schools or at corporate levels. I do it on my individual timelines, and but yeah,
Yeah.
if I'm called to, or if somebody hosts me, I definitely go in there to teach them, and I do small classes and seminars, like workshops.
Yeah.
Especially transcendental activations is one of the offerings that I do, where it is energetic activations for people to perceive their highest energies and the highest vibration, because
Mm.
in that purest form of vibration, anything that is not needed or anything that is uncomfortable or that's causing any kind of pain would readily transform into light. So we are all light beings. So we are all energy beings. So we are going to create it into that point of energy and take them and elevate to that energetic states where they kind of sense that space and peace and that possibility within themselves. So those are like the activations that I offer, that I do. And there are other so many other transformational modalities that I offer because I'm trained in quite a few modalities. But I do offer my clients, which I felt that literally they were life changing. Everything that changed my life, I've taught, I've learned it, and I really work through that by offering them to my clients as services, be it like empowerment readings, personal empowerment readings to Akashic records, and soul retrieval sessions. It's a Native American thing. And I also do past life regressions and
Mm.
um, like the passion healing sessions where I'll be addressing any of the issues that's bothering them, because usually people come to me with three issues, health, wealth, and relationships. Those are the
Oh.
three it's where everybody would struggle. So, but my expertise is more so in healing, because I am really inclined to see that, why someone has to suffer with disease or an illness, and they can have a choice. And if I could show them a way to choose better health and well-being for them, and if they also resonate with it and they will it with the intensity of the wellness, will really help them to transform and make them feel better and healthy.
Yeah, definitely. It's so tempting, when you've gotten, a diagnosis of whatever, really, to just go with whatever the doctor is telling you. You need to do this, you need to start on this treatment, you need to start on that sort of thing. But, I think we all know, some of those treatments can cause more damage than necessary,
Right.
almost. Yeah.
I
So I think
agree.
it's really good to, sort of keep
Yeah,
options.
that's one of the things with the energy healings that I offer, right? I can assure you that you will not have side effects with my healing work. Never going to be any side effects with energy healing.
That's good to hear. Good to hear. So, I heard you were doing a declutter challenge, and I was meant to join your declutter challenge because my house is full of clutter. I have children. Sometimes it just gets a bit. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. And eventually, when you're ready to, do all the work, and yeah, I'm ready to rock on and do, and then the place is just like, why is this why is this place like this? Is horrible, that sort of thing. And you feel like, sometimes I feel in myself, okay, do you clean the house and then your mind will be straight to do the work, or do the work so that, the house will be clean and, clutter free? Because now you're feeling motivated, the chicken or the egg, which one comes first? Talk
All right.
about decluttering your mind and how your environment can affect your mental space as well.
That's exactly right. That was the declutter challenge. We did it for 2 weeks and then followed by manifesting to start with the new year. It was a great kickstart. It was a very, very, very responsive. I mean, I got very great responses on that challenge as well. It's basically a stage that we've set on where we could motivate each other and be accountable for.
Yeah.
It's like about accountability partnership, so everybody that signed up in there were like, yeah, they all wanted to do it, but what we all lack is that little dose of motivation there to really do the work, right? Like you said, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. So that is procrastination. Right? We all kind of end up procrastinating on things, so that again, that comes back to our comfort zone. Right now you want to just sit down, do nothing, right? But
Yeah,
yeah,
who wants to
declutter
wash
challenge.
dishes? No. Who wants to fold clothes? No.
Right. So it is all about making and cleaning up the space, is so much to do with your emotional baggage.
Hmm.
So there is this thing like your space that you live in, like your home or your room, whatever that is, reflects the energy of what's going in your mind.
Hmm.
you
Wow.
know. And it's a little different when you have kids. It's okay for you to have, a lot of stuff in your kitchen and on top of the refrigerator when you have kids. But on a normal scenario, you do not have kids and your countertops are full and things are full. That's definitely giving us and letting us know that your mind is full of thoughts, disorganized thoughts, especially.
Wow. Wow. It's amazing because I've heard that a lot, on these like YouTube channels and things, and people always say that, the state of your house is like the state of your mind, you know. Is that always true though? Like, like the cleaner your house, does that mean you have a clear mind though?
It's not just about having a clear mind. It is like it really tells you about how you could feel about you. So let me just ask you, how would you feel when you go to a church?
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel when you go to a party? How would you feel when you go to a movie theater?
Mm-hmm.
How would you go when you go to a, what do you call that? Um, where the slaughterhouse.
Oh God.
There's a difference, right? From
Yeah.
all, I mean, everything is a place, right?
Yeah.
Everything is a place.
Mhm.
And you go on a vacation. How do you feel? And
Yeah.
then you come back home. How do you feel? So, see, what I'm saying is, it's not about you keep your house clean, you feel clean inside. It's not about that. It's about how you're feeling.
Mm.
So when you feel, okay, say I invite you to my home and we are having the same conversation in my home. You feel nice, you come back to me. You
Mhm.
do not feel nice, you're never going to step into my home again. So
Mm.
there are two options. Either you felt welcomed or you felt really not welcomed,
Mm.
right? So the same with ourselves. So when you walk into your closet, does that feel like, does every closet in your wardrobe, I mean, every dress in your wardrobe tells you that, would you wear me, please? Would you wear me, please? Or it's like you really have to struggle to pick what I need to wear today,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So it's about setting the tone,
Right.
that sort of thing. Because you can get like a burst of motivation and you know what, I'm gonna clean this house up, and head to toe, that sort of thing. And I think you can always get that sense of gratification after, when you've cleaned up and you just feel like, yes, finally it's done.
Right. It's your dopamine again, a small
Yeah,
win. But
exactly.
so you just think, if you put like 3 hours or 4 hours to clean your closet and you keep it and you maintain it that way, you're going to feel that for a very long time.
Yeah. It just goes back to what you said about doing things, swallowing that pill and keeping it in the silos.
Right.
Keeping it in the silos, because we can avoid our problem and say, you know what, instead of sorting out my closet, I'm just going to go out to lunch with my friends. Yeah.
Right.
That sort of thing. Or, I'll just chill and watch Netflix. It's my day off after all. I shouldn't be bothered with, hard labor of housework, you know.
Exactly. And
But
we kind of tell all those stories to ourselves. But let me just tell
it
you,
always sounds good though. It sounds plausible.
it sounds possible, and that's again the comfort zone where we're getting into. But let me tell you, you don't want to do everything on one day. You don't want to get that high stride of motivation to do the whole cleaning of your home on one day. So declutter challenge was really to help people motivate and stay accountable for their actions in a
Yeah.
way that this is not like a one time thing. So it's simply like one of the things that I talked about, and that is, don't put the things down, put it away.
Mhm.
It could be something like a mantra, right? Don't put it down, but put it away. So you open your shoes as you walk in, put them in the shoe rack instead of leaving them down.
Yeah.
Similarly, you kind of do that with every piece of
Anything.
utility or book or a pen or a envelope that you're using in your home, and you put them back in the place where it needs to be. Your home is clean 365 days.
Mhm.
I
Except
mean,
if you have kids, of
organized.
course.
Pardon me?
When you have two kids, maybe
Oh,
not.
No, that's what I'm saying. Conditions apply. You have kids. It's a
Conditions apply. Kids is another ball game, isn't it?
Yep. Yep.
So tell us a little bit about your crystals. I don't know anything about crystals, so I was hoping you could give me a bit of an sort of an introduction into it. I see them around, they're quite pretty. I love the pink ones. I think they're called rose quartz or something like that.
Always.
How does crystals sort of help with like energy healing and holistic well-being, that sort of thing? How can crystals be used as an instrument towards your healing?
Question. So as I said, everything is energy, right? And you know how crystals are formed? Crystals are formed under the ground, under pressure. You know, they
Yeah.
are built in pressure. When the pressure is created enough under the ground, they
Mm.
form into these beautiful crystals. If you, as you said, you saw them, they'll have like projections and
Yeah.
they're different compositions. They're made up of different minerals. So what we say is crystals come from um, below ground level, which is basically the non-organic. They are
Okay.
the non-organic formulations. Like before, when we were created, non-organic becomes organic when a carbon particle is attached to it, which is where we have our trees, our herbs, and everything else. And then we evolved to come out as a human being. So
Mm.
that is why we all need minerals and vitamins for our sustenance.
Wow.
You know, there are trace minerals, there are, you know, minerals that you need like zinc, selenium, you know, other minerals, as well as we need vitamins like D, E,
Hmm.
A. So where are all these coming from? Vitamins are coming from the plants, which is organic, but minerals are coming from this non-organic material. That is why we recommend that you want to walk outdoors without your shoes,
Mm.
grounding. There is so much awareness on people like going on grounding. And, you know, like when people are suffering from early graying of hair, a very big problem too, early graying of hair, losing hair, you know, and being bald at a very young age for men. So these all could be the results of lack of minerals in the body.
Interesting.
So
Mm.
crystals are made up of nothing but they're a formulation of these minerals and they're highly concentrated energy formulations. And
Mm.
according to the ancient studies, we have that crystals have the properties where they can concentrate the energy. And some crystals, depending on the crystal you use, like a clear quartz to a rose quartz to an amethyst, every crystal has got its own property, just like the minerals have one property for us and the vitamins give. Like you need D for your bones, you need E for your skin, you need A for your eyes, right? So similarly, these mineral components of crystals, so this crystal can do certain qualities like white quartz, clear quartz is a master healer, you know, and similarly you have rose quartz, which will help you open up your heart chakra. It's like, you know, that is why we say your heart resembles like a that, you know, how we use the pink color for heart, or you know, we do all that things. And so it is like, if you go into depths of its information, it all coincides to teach us that we need all of them for creating little balance in our body.
Mm.
So each crystal has its own unique properties, and crystals are very helpful in healing for me. And I also use them on my clients. And I also I offer sessions with crystal mats because they can help radiate, give the infrared frequencies for deep body tissues, deep body pains, help relieve the stress in the body and the body pain. So there's a lot of properties with crystals, along with the technology that is available right now, which can help with progress persons to heal from pain pretty quickly. So basically, with healing using crystals, what happens is, say what might take you maybe 10 or 15 days to heal, with using the energy healing or using crystals in the healing process can shorten that period. So your
Mm.
recovery period is much faster than what it is intended to be. So I love crystals. I've got quite a few collection of crystals, I can say. And yeah, I do use them for my clients and for myself too. Yeah.
Can imagine you've got like a whole closet of crystals, or your drawers at home are full of them.
Yeah, I do. I do. We do have those.
Well, that was a brilliant introduction because I literally knew nothing about crystals whatsoever. I've never owned one in my life, but I'm quite attracted to the amethysts, the purple ones. I love those.
Yeah.
So you must be quite busy in life in general. Like, how do you get a minute to protect your energy, healing all the time and, doing work on people? How do you personally just get a time to do work on yourself and self-love, self-care, self-healing?
Definitely, I'd take time for that. But when you said all the day healing, just what? That's recharging me,
Mm,
not draining me. It's definitely recharging me. Every client I see is giving me more energy than what I might be having a normal day, so it recharges me. So there is no way that I'm losing my energy, but it's only recharging me all the time. And then, of course, I have my self care activities, I have my schedules, I have my plans because nothing is more important than me. It might sound selfish, but that is much needed to prioritize myself, prioritize my health, because without this body, I think probably there is nothing else we could do.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. So just tell the listeners or the viewers how they can contact you and what sort of sessions that you'll be offering very soon to them.
Yeah, sure. You can visit me on www.passionhealings.com. And if you have any questions, you can write an email to info@passionhealings.com. And you can also find me on Google, and you can make appointments. I do take online appointments, as well as in person on specific days. So you could contact me for in-person appointments off of Dallas, Texas. And you can also reach me on any of my social media handles. In Facebook, it's Passion Healings, and also in Instagram, it's Passion Healings, for any quick messages or replies you need.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today, Divya. It's been awesome having you. I'm sure you've inspired so many people watching or listening to this, and I'm very, very grateful to have connected with you today.
Thank you so much, Zara. It was an honor to be here. Namaste.
Thank you.